CloudDB, shaping your new normal.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 2021 APAC Groundbreakers virtual tour by APAC OUC. So this year our event would be the biggest one ever done with 144 sessions, including normal sessions, workshops and hands-on labs from 100 different speakers over 17 days. So also it would cover in 4 different languages. So please remember to register as many sessions as you can. So I'd like to say thanks to all Oracle user groups and Java user groups that made this event possible, and also to our sponsors, Oracle Groundbreakers, and our main sponsor, CloudDB. Now for today's session, we have there is no MAA without Zero Data Loss Recovery Appliance by Fernando Simon. Please feel free to write questions at any time during the session at the chat tab of the live webinar, and the speaker would be answering them at the end of this session. And if there is any issue during the presentation, please feel free to contact me anytime on the chat tab. Now, without any delay, I would like to leave you with this amazing session by Simon. Okay, so over to Fernando Simon.
Okay, so first I would like to thank APAC community and all the user groups that are part, and the user group from today and for this session. I'll talk about ZDLRA, Zero Data Loss Recovery Appliance, but not just that. I will explain or try to show you why today ZDLRA is more important than you think. So my session for today is there is no MAA without ZDLRA. Okay, so I'm here by myself, not by my company or representing them. So the safe harbor statement, simple one, that something that maybe I talk to you today is not what my company think about that, but I'm talking about by myself here. So I'm part of FACE program. So if you want to be part of FACE program, share knowledge, share what you want, go to the Oracle forums, create your post, create your forum, discuss, create your blog, and post there. The community is there to help you. So let's talk about the agenda for this session. So a little introduction about me, my contacts, what I something that for MAA, ZDLRA, and why you need to put everything together. Okay, so I'm Oracle. I'm living in Luxembourg, in Europe. I had spoke in the Oracle Open World Latin America, APAC last year, UK UOG some weeks last week, and others event like EMEA, Groundbreakers tours, Latin America Groundbreakers tour. So India using group. So you can see my presentations online. My contacts are there. My personal email, you can contact me, no problem. My blog, my Twitter, and my LinkedIn. My Twitter will be at the bottom of the every slide, so you can contact me. So me, I'm Oracle since 2004. I already worked with Oracle, PostgreSQL, SQL 7 DB2. I was head of DBA team for Court of Justice in Brazil. There, I worked doing several projects related with Exadata. I worked with the V2, X2, X4, X5, X6, ZDLRA since 2014, 2015, and so on. 2017, I moved to Luxembourg. Here, I'm working in a bank institution, and we have the same MAA infrastructure, Exadata, XSCC, X9M. We received some last month, more or less. ZDLRA, X9M, and so on. So my focus is MAA. So, but what will you talk about today? Today, I will talk about MAA, the architecture of the MAA. How you do that? How you think in the architectural way of the MAA. Focus in on-prem, for sure. Cloud, we have a different approach. It's not the intention for today, because the ZDLRA is not there from the cloud. It's not there yet. How you need to think different and think big, because you understand that. But I will not talk about cloud, how you do MAA at cloud. I will not talk about the configuration part of the MAA. I will not talk about transparent application failover, fast connection failover. This is related to the applications, GDBC, and I will not explain you how you install a hack, how you install a data guard, how you configure the broker. This is configuration, okay? And I will not talk about prices, because prices depends every country, every place. We have a different things for every place. So let's talk about the architecture, but let's talk about the first idea. So what is MAA for you? But what is MAA at the end? MAA is availability of the every information. Your application needs to be continuous. You need to have low impact of the environment. So think about when you have storage replication, storage synchronization is another layer of things. If you are doing how can I say that, you are syncing storages, you are doing network, you have a lot of things to over that. So maybe you can have a huge impact and not be easy. So this is not the idea for MAA. The idea is to be easy to operate, easy to, and have low impact of the environment. But we can reduce mostly MAA to two things: RPO and RTO. RPO is recovery point objective. This means how much data you can lose. So think about, you have an outage. If my database fails now, it's production. I can't lose nothing. I can lose 10 minutes. I can lose 1 hour, 1 day. So this is your RPO, recovery point objective. And the recovery time is how much time you need to put everything running again. So think about, you have your storage, and if your storage have a problem, how much time you need to put your database running again? I need to buy a new storage, so maybe it's 1 month. I have a second storage in another place. I have data guard, so my recovery time is 0. I have a hack. I have 2 nodes, 1 node failure. The second node is there, so the RTO is 0. So for sure that the goal is to have the RPO and the RTO 0. You have no data loss and no access loss, okay? But in real life, the real life, we have mixed environment. In the same data center, you are a DBA, and maybe you need to take care of the development database, production database. So you need to think about solutions for mixed SLA. One database is 0 RPO, another can be 1 week. If I lost 1 week of the data, don't care, because it's test database. So maybe we have a lot of impact of the environment. You need to take care about the complexity. Maybe if you need to do a backup or copy to tape, I share the same with the client connections. So you need to test a lot sometimes, okay? So but let's do some questions that you need to understand before, okay? What is your environment today? Think about your environment right now. Which database you need to cover? Production, dev, test, UAT, other databases. Some productions are more important than the others. So some databases have data guard, some databases have a lot of things. So and in case of failure, this is really interesting. all your databases have the same RPO. I mean, if I lost my database right now, I lost my storage, all my databases needs to have the same recovery point objective, or no, or yes. So why this is important? Because think about, I restore my production right now, okay? And if I need to bring again the others, the database that surround this database, I need to apply again the same transactions. How I recover the transactions that I lost? So this is the idea why all of them needs to have the same RPO. Think about, you have 20 databases. One I restore until 10 p.m. Another is 9:30. Another is 9:45. How I sync everything together? So maybe for some reason will be best for you to have all to have the same architecture, to have the same RPO. So this is important. Maybe this is most important for you. So what is MAA? Okay, MAA, the architecture design is, they are blueprints. These I copied directly from the documentation. Oracle best practices blueprint based in the Oracle high availability technologies, end-to-end validation, expert recommendation, customer experience. So MAA is not something that force you to use that, but is guidelines, is reference, and they are reference for infrastructure and for configurations. The focus is reduce planned and unplanned downtimes. If you have outage, what's happened? Application continuity, data protection, and scalability. These are the goals in zero RPO and RTO. But this is the most additional architecture that you have for the base architecture for MAA. These are related with single instance. And when you use that, when you have the traditional environment, you have database, storage, mostly for dev, test. Maybe you can have some production there. That is not a problem to have production running over that. But the point is, if I have outage, I have a hardware error. My database, I lost my disks, so I can recover from the last backup. And if I may, I have backup made last night, no problem. Some databases, some infrastructures can handle with that. So in this case, if my hardware fails, here, I restore from the backup. Okay? If I may have site outage, if I not copy to the second site, I lost everything. So this is something that you need to consider, something that you need to cover, and you need to think about. Okay? But the idea is that if you have a hardware error, your RPO will be higher than zero, because maybe you can lose some data. Okay, if it's power supply, maybe not, maybe yes. If I lost the storage, yes. If I have database error, most of time the RPO is zero, because it's just applied the patch or something like that. If I have database corruption, I need to restore from the last backup. Site outage depends of the type of the outage. Okay. Sorry. But the next step is silver architecture. So now MAA start to think about application continuity. Okay, you have hack, ODA, engineering system. Don't need to be engineering system. You can have a hack, but at least you have a hack. Why? Because if one node fails, the other is there. This is the idea for the silver. You still have the same site. You don't have a copy and the second site. You don't have data guard. You have nothing. Even Exadata is a recommended way to use engineering system. It's not force you to use that. It's just a recommendation. Why? Because this is just single point of failure. If you have a failure in the hardware, the other one will be there. And this is there. So if you have a hardware error, The RPO can be 0, depends the errors. If the storage corruption, can be complicated. Database software error is the same. But the point is, if you still have data corruption, you still need to restore from the last backup. Think about that I lost all my databases in here. Okay, I lost this everything. From where I need to restore? I need to restore from backup. So I'm still thinking about restore from the last backup. If I have outage now, I still have data loss, even running in Exadata. Think about that. Try to explain to your manager that you still have data loss running in Exadata. So I think that will not be so easy conversation. The next one is the gold architecture. Is focusing data continuity, because if your site becomes down, the second site protects you. You have data guard, you have everything. Mostly is the replication is done by data guard when you use the MAA. But one thing that is important in here, think about that you have site outage in here. You have site outage in here. You lost your primary site. So switch to the second site. But again, think about, if I lost this guy, this environment, what's happened? You still need to restore from the backup. And how many times you see that the primary site run a good environment, but the secondary site is not a good machine, and maybe it's not even working or something like that. So your second site needs to have the same protection than your primary site. This is important. So sometimes a lot of people forgot about that and put in the second site in the cheap hardware, and you start to have problems performance and something like that. Okay, and the platinum is the same, but you have inside of the same site you have data guard, and after you can have multiple sites. You can sync sites and you can do a lot of things. So you just increase and increase the protection. But this is the base architecture. You have your database. Remember that your storage here, it can use for the, I will say, the dev databases, and even for the production, even for the data guard here. So the same storage, I still rely my database in the same storage. Is that I can have my database in here. Okay. So, but what is the point? I still rely over backup here. If my backup is done last night, I lost one day. This is the point. It's time. It's based on time. I can even have a data guard from the second site. But again, if I lost my site 1, my site 2, it still relies over backup. This is the point. We are relying over backup. This is the traditional environment. Okay? But why is ZDLRA so important for this? So because why? The base of ZDLRA, okay, I will just pass is engineering system, Exadata based. If it's Exadata engineering system, you have some intelligence running there. It can connect directly with tape, no problem. You can replicate it, and it protects your XSCC. One point, your databases are not running inside of ZDLRA. It's just the backups and the protection, the data loss, okay? And I will explain you how this works. So inside, you have some database. You have one database there that is your Herman catalog to store the backups and work with the backup. This is the point, okay? You have the cross-check, everything is validated, data logic and base and data corruption, logic corruption. Everything is there. Cross-check, validated, and so on. So virtual full backup is one feature from ZDLRA. Why? Because all your backups are validated, and Oracle ZDLRA looks the blocks inside of this backup. So all your blocks are validated. It's different of the duplication, because the duplication, if you know Herman have a backup set. You send the backup set. But inside of this backup set, you have your data file. And inside of this data file, you have the blocks, database blocks. So ZDLRA can look for these database blocks and check, okay, this one is corrupted, this one is not corrupted, and so on. But since I have all of the blocks, I can't create my incremental for every strategy. And what this means, if I send my level 0 backup, I have all the blocks in the memory of ZDLRA. Think about that. I have all the blocks there. I send my incremental. What's happened? ZDLRA can look, okay, I have all the blocks. I can create for you a full backup. You don't need any more to do full backups, because if I have all the blocks there in the memory and I have the second incrementals, I have all the blocks. So you send just incremental backups, and this is how it works. A small example. List backup of data file 1. I have incremental level 0. Okay, simple one. I send incremental level 1. So look, they have different backup set, different types. They have different SCNs. Okay, but think about ZDLRA have all the blocks and the new blocks. Okay, now ZDLRA creates for you incremental level 0 with the same SCN. Why? Because I have all the blocks. So they got merged. Okay, merged to create a new block, new database. Think about how many times you reduce your backup. Think about your restore, because think about your restore, a big database. How it works? I need to restore the level 0 and all the incremental level 1 after that. Is not needed anymore. Is there? Incremental level 1 is not needed because I have the level 0 there. So I just need to restore the last backup, because the last backup is a full backup. So I reduce the complexity of the backup. This is important, okay? So, and this works for Oracle 9, for Oracle 10G to 21. AIX, IBM Z, Linux, Solaris, all the environments. The RISC environment, CISC environment, everything is covered. Okay? ZDLRA have a replication, works in the same way. You have from one site to another site. Both sites are synced, or you can have one to multiple sites. So you can have a lot of protections, but the most important is, okay, you have your replication. Look in here. I have my archive log backup. I have my copy 1 is in here. Copy 1. Copy 1. After, I have a second copy for the same. They are the same, but they are in the different sites. Here is site 2, and here it is in the site 1. So I have 2 copies. If I lost one site, I can restore for another site. And here is the same for another one. Think about that. This is the new one, and this is the old one. I have just the second copy that is in the second ZDLRA, and this is done automatically by ZDLRA. I need to do nothing. Everything is automated. Everything is done as soon as possible. So reduce a lot of complexity of the management of the environment. Okay. Here, if I need to restore from one site to another site, is the same. So here I'm connected in the ZDLRA 1, site 1. Remember that the 48 from the slide before, it is in the site 2. So I'm connecting the ZDLRA 1, try to restore the 48 that was in the site 2. It was possible to restore because since they are synced, I can copy from one site to another. And the same for the second site. I restore from the 49. So in case of outage, I can have a lot of ways to restore my data. Okay? I can do the same and clone it to tape. It's the same idea. It's just copy to tape. It's not just to tape. I can copy to OCI, Object Store. So I can have an external copy of my data. So start to think about how this ZDLRA help you for backup management. So your backup is there. You can copy by tags. You can do a lot of things that you do for your backups. But the point is, I'm talking about backup. And now I will show you why ZDLRA is the most important part for MAA. Because real-time redo transport. Why it is so important? Because it is the RPO 0. It is ZDLRA, zero data loss. And the zero data loss came from the real-time redo transport. Why? Because it's simple and really simple. ZDLRA is the log archive dest for your database. And use the same way that you do with DataGuard. You just need to tell you from the log archive dest and point to ZDLRA. Service, the same synced, no affirm, the unique name of ZDLRA and valid for. Same way that you do for DataGuard. And in case of you have an outage in your database, ZDLRA protect you and generate a new archive log. I'll show it to you later. But one important thing, you don't need DataGuard license to do that. You can use this for single databases, to Enterprise Edition, to Standard Edition, to Enterprise Edition. Think about that. You put your ZDLRA inside of your environment, inside your data center today, right now. All your databases, all of them can have zero RPO. Your production that runs in a single instance, your production hack, your production Exadata, your dev database, your test databases, all of them. And remember, production for you can be different from production for developers. For some companies, it's more critical to left devs not working than production is down, because they are like startups, they are focused in development. Think about that. Production for you maybe is not production for your company or production for your developers. Okay? So here an example, a simple one. I do out and system have low current, I does not execute the backup, and the backup is there. But the most important is, I'll show now. So I simulate a single database running a simple insert. Two sessions, session 1 and session 2. They are inserting in the same data. Is a loop here that insert data in one table, commit, exit, and do again. Two sessions just to simulate overload inside of the database. So it's running, committing, inserting data. Okay? But I have outage. What's happened? The last inserted data, that is 1016 from the session 1 and 645 from second 2, they got inserted. Okay? The next one, end of communication channel. Failure. You lost everything. Okay? Your storage is down. This database don't have even a data guard. Okay? Is your Exadata, running your Exadata. Think about that. Remember? 1016 and 645. Okay? I have outage. So I start to try to restore my environment. Okay? I try to mount the data, this group. Corruption, offline and whatever. I need to recreate, need to restore from the backup. Okay? I start to do my restore and okay. And now I reach the recover. Remember? I do a list backup of archive log all, whenever, and the last one is just to return before. Remember the time of the error? 23:09:44. Okay? Was the last second that was inserted. Okay? My archive log is from the same moment. So I use the SCN. See here? Okay, it's there. No problems, no issues. And if I restore, recover database, look, my data is there. I'm not even using data guard. And remember, I have data loss. I need to restore from backup. I lost my disk group. I need to restore backup. I need to recover the backup. I just put the SCN and all my data that was inserted before is there. It's not data guard. I have full disk group failure. So think about that. Okay. Oh, but why you need to do everything together? Because you have everything relies on the same protection. So the point is why you need to restore, why you need to use ZDLRA. Because ZDLRA protects you for all of your environment. Okay, you have external protection. You have multiple copies for protection. It's first and second line of defense, and I will show you. So, and it's not just that. I'm just show you where is my here. Okay, I pick up here. On-prem, MAA on-prem, oracle.com. I'm going there. Maximum architecture protection is the site that defines everything. Look, from the bronze. Look who is here. Okay? Who is there? Is it ZDLRA? I'm going to the silver. I'm going down, down, down. I'm going to the silver, the gold, but I'm going to the silver. Look who is here. ZDLRA. I'm going to the gold. Look who is here. Even for the second site. I'm going to the maximum protection that you can reach. Just going below. If I'm going to the platinum, sorry, I think that I passed. If I'm going to the platinum, I have ZDLRA here. So ZDLRA is there. The reference, the other one, the website is there. The platinum is the same. Local backup. I'm going to the Oracle 19C. That was the last one. High availability architecture is there. This is the point. So ZDLRA is there for everything, from the bronze to the platinum, and it's not me that is telling you. It's Oracle. Look, it's not me. It's Oracle that is telling you that. So let's continue. Okay. So why ZDLRA is so important? Okay. Why? Because my protection is here. So think about that. I have a hardware outage here. If I'm using real-time redo, that I don't need to pay, since I pay for ZDLRA, it is there. I have 0 RPO. I have a site outage. No problem. Maybe my data is outside, at the tape or at the cloud. Okay, I'm not using to cloud. I have a second ZDLRA. I have outage here. Outage in the site 1. ZDLRA is replicated. So I can restore my data from here. And even here, I can clone to a second tape. So I'm adding a lot of protection, but this is done automatically. For the silver, it's the same way. You have real-time redo, you have your hexadata here. Okay? The real-time redo transport, 0 RPO, even if I have complete outage here. And if I have a replication, if I have completed site outage, I have copy here. So think about that. Think about protection. Think about everything that you can reach. And the gold and the platinum is the same. Is the same. You still have, but this is important. Why is it so important for gold architecture? Because think about that, I have outage here. Okay, I switch to the second site. Okay, and if I have outage here, I still have 0 RPO. Think about that. I'm saving my environment for failure 1 can happen here. Okay, I have one failure here, so failure 1. Okay, okay, but this ZDLRA is not working properly or whatever. I have a site outage. Okay, I have a second failure. Data guard protects me, no problem. 0 RPO. 2 outages. And here I have my third outage. The third one. I lost this environment. 0 RPO. Why? Because ZDLRA is there. Real-time redo transport. 0 RPO. And remember, I can have a cloud here, OCI. I can copy these backups to OCI. So even if I have a third outage, a fourth outage, maybe I'm protected for 4 failures with just one guy, with just one software. I don't need to pay for the sync of storage and so on, or not a lot of things. I'm just pay for data guard and ZDLRA. I don't need to pay EMC to EMC, vSAN, whenever in one site I have HP, another site I have EMC. It's not like that. And the same for the Platinum, basically it's 2 times the same thing. But just to why everything is integrated, think about your environment today. Just to finish in the presentation and to show you, I just want to put one thing in here for me, just to control myself. So think about, okay, I have site 1. You have your ZDLRA there, okay? You have your primary databases, okay? You have everything is there. You have your traditional environment, databases plus storage, simple like that, okay? Everything is backuped from ZDLRA. I have my Exadatas, so these are the core business for the for your company. Okay, your most important databases are there. Okay, finance or whatever. Okay, they are cloned to cloud, or maybe I can clone the backups to cloud, whatever. Okay, I have my second site, so I'm a really a big guy. I have a data guard. Okay, site 1 replicate to site 2, some databases, and everything is there. Okay, so let's think about now. Okay, I have a storage failure. So if I have a storage and they are shared, I lost all of these databases. Okay, what's happened? Real-time redo, 0 RPO, 0 data loss. Okay, but I have one Exadata failure. Or again, think about that this guy is a hack with 2 guys and they share the storage. Okay, they share the storage. But if I have a storage failure, I lost these guys and I lost this guy as well. Again, real-time redo transport, 0 RPO. Okay? Now think about that I lost the storage, and the storage is for the data guard as well here. So think about what I need to restore now. Okay? I need to restore this database 1. I need to restore, I will erase it here. So I need to restore. I will restore these guys. Okay? Remember, since they have real-time redo transport, they have the same RPO. They will be synced. They have all the same, have the same point of failure. I don't need to restore these databases, and these guys for like 11.05, and these guys are for 10. It's not the case. This is not valid for ZDLRA. Why? Because all are protect from the same moment. So I don't need to restore one database, and now I need to talk about with the application teams, and I need to restore your databases. You need to restore your data. Needs to run again your queries and fix your or reports or whatever. This is not needed. And I'm doing this with just one guy, one ZDLRA. Now think about going deeper. Okay, this was the point that I talked to you before. Think big. Okay, I have a second site and I have the same databases there. Not the same, but maybe here I will say in Australia. Okay, I am in Pearl and I am at Melbourne, same country, to have protection. But maybe the guys from Melbourne connected here. So they are the developers here, and they are here is the corner in Pearl connected here, working. Okay? If I have outage here, if I have the ZDLRA is not available here, or I need outage, the data is not there. Why? Because they are replicated. So this guy, if I need to restore backup, they can restore backup from here. If I have ZDLRA down, the same here. This guy can be copied from there. And again, real-time redo transport, 0 RPO. Again. So think about if you want to do this with the same storage. Forget ZDLRA. So here I have EMC. And here I have the storage is HP. Huawei. Whenever. Do you think that you can sync EMC and HP, or HP and EMC? No, you need to have maybe VMware, vSAN. So think about that, okay? So this is the reason that why ZDLRA is so important, because it's one guy, one solution is there. And remember, they are the same from bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Remember, I'm talking about primary site. So this ZDLRA is the same of this one. That is the same of this guy. That is the same of this one. So the same guy protects you. The same ZDLRA can protect from the primary, from the bronze to the silver. One solution. Okay, and if you think about the secondary, they are the same as well. So here here, here, sorry, and here. They are the same. They are the same. And remember what I talked before? Is everything managed by automatically? So the synchronization between these two guys are done automatically. The backups, the everything that you need to do with backups or synchronization is done automatically for you. You don't need to take care of data is copied, not copied, whenever. This is done automatically by Oracle. Okay, so this is the reason why today there is no MAA without ZDLRA. I return to the same point of before. Okay, let's go there. Oracle again. What is the only solution that is there for all the environments? ZDLRA is here. Bones talking nothing about Exadata or hack. Okay, the same for the silver. Is not forcing you to use Exadata. Exadata is there because they do single point of failure, but they not force you to use for the silver. Is the same here. They not force you even to use. It's not written here that you need to use Exadata. This is the point. But they recommend to you from the bronze to silver, from bronze to silver, bronze to platinum, all to use. They recommend to use ZDLRA, and this is from the November 21. I'm talking about something that is there for years and years and years about this. So the point is that today there is no MAA without ZDLRA. Okay, so I'm open to questions. If you have questions or comments, feel free to ask or share your doubts. My idea was to show you why ZDLRA, why architecture, and think about that is so important. Why you need to use that, why is so important. Francisco?
Hello, Fernando. Apologies,
Hello.
I was on mute.
Okay, no problem.
But now, thank you so much, and we will be. I just give some time to see if the people have any questions to post on the chat room.
Okay.
In the meantime, again, we're going to have the playbacks available to all the people that register to the sessions. That means if you want to watch a session that you miss, you only need to go to the platform, register to the session, and that session will show in your personal calendar agenda, and there you will find the playbacks of the sessions. We already uploaded the first 5 days of the conference, and we are going to be uploading another 5 days videos tomorrow. And this way, if anyone see this presentation for Fernando and you have any questions, please feel free to contact him by Twitter or his email anytime. And Fernando will be more than happy to answer any questions regarding this session if you miss the opportunity to ask to him right now live. All right, Fernando, looks like there's no questions coming through. In that case, thank you so much for taking the time to share your knowledge. And we're looking forward to see you face to face when everything comes back to normal.
Yes, I hope so.
Okay, my friend.
Okay, thank you.
Have a wonderful day and
You
take
too.
care and be safe.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
CloudDB, shaping your new normal.